Hey everyone, it's Kenton Becker, American Pacific Mortgage. I'm here again with another weekly video tip for you. This week's tip, I want to talk again about refinancing because it's a big topic and it's one that I've been getting a lot of questions from, and they're asking about their options to tap into their equity and use some of that equity to pay off debts, maybe make home improvements, or maybe they have big projects or big expenses that are coming up that they'd like to pay for using some of the equity in their home. And they're asking what kind of options they actually have to do that. There are two main options when it comes to borrowing or tapping into your existing home equity to use towards debt consolidation or paying for these types of projects. One option requires you to completely replace your existing first mortgage with a brand new loan. This is called a cash out refinance. The way that this works is pretty simple. Let's say that you owe $300,000 on your existing home mortgage. You were able to get a new loan for $400,000. The difference there is $100,000. That would go to you in the form of a cash out refinance, and you could use that $100,000 for whatever you'd want to use it towards. So that is one way to do that, but there's one flaw to this program. A lot of clients that we're talking to that have that $300,000 loan, it has a nice low 3 or 4% interest rate that they really don't want to touch or refinance. You know, they're replacing it with a rate today at 6%, and that sometimes doesn't make sense. Now, I did talk on a video about this a few weeks back, or more than a few videos ago, where I talked about that you could still save a lot of money even though your mortgage rate is increasing. So reference that video up here in the top corner, one of these corners. Reference that video so you can see how a cash out refinance, even though your mortgage rate is increasing, could still make a lot of sense. But there is a second option, and this a lot of times is something that I will recommend for especially clients that are looking to take out a small amount of money. Maybe they don't need $100,000. Maybe they only need $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 out of their home in the form of cash out. Well, an option that they might have is called a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is in the form of a second mortgage. So we're actually not touching the first mortgage at all. You can keep that first mortgage at the nice low interest rate you have, and we're going to take out a second loan up to about $50,000, and I'll talk more on this a little bit later. The two options you have with a home equity line of credit is you can do an adjustable rate or a fixed interest rate. Now, the adjustable interest rate is usually a little bit lower at the starting point, but with rates kind of being uncertain and going all over the place, we've actually seen these adjustable rate mortgages kind of creep up a little bit. And it's why in the smaller amounts, I'm comfortable with it. But if you start getting into the larger amounts above $50,000, adjustable rates just start to get really scary. Can you imagine your rate shooting up 1% on a loan over $50,000? That could change your monthly payment by $50 or $100 a month, and we don't want that to happen. So the other option is you can go with a fixed interest rate, and that sounds pretty good. The only problem is the fixed interest rates generally come a little bit higher. So again, in the smaller amounts, this all doesn't matter as much. When we're talking about $20,000 or $30,000, having a rate that adjusts or an interest rate that's a little bit higher on a fixed rate probably is not going to matter and is still going to be a better option than maybe that high rate on your credit card or your auto loan, or if you have to borrow money for certain projects or improvements. Yeah, the home equity loan is still going to be a little bit better and cheaper as an option for you. But like I said, when we get into those higher amounts, $75,000, $100,000 even, or more of cash out that you need, we really should not be doing a home equity line of credit. At that point, we should be looking more into that cash out refinance where we replace your existing loan with a new loan. So there's a couple different options for refinances. Hopefully it gives you some information. Now, if you need to tap into some of that equity to pay off debts, make home improvements, pay for upcoming expenses, give me a call and we can actually go through some of these options with you and explore which option makes the most sense, a full cash out refinance or a home equity line of credit. So thanks so much for joining me this week. Call me if we can help with anything. Have a great week.